Joe Brady, who's been with the Bills for several years, started as Josh Allen's quarterback coach, is the new hire for the Buffalo Bills. And so, that's okay. Was he the hot coach on the market? Because that usually works, no? And I read a story this morning, and it said the Patriots-Seahawks is the most unlikely Super Bowl matchup by preseason odds in the last 50 years. I don't think it's shocking, and I'll tell you why. What did we learn this NFL season? Let's tie a bow on it as we go through all the coaching hires. Number one thing we learned, hire the best or second best coach on the coaching market if you want to turn your fortunes around. That's what the Chargers did with Harbaugh, Patriots did with Vrabel, Bears did with Ben Johnson, Broncos did with Sean Payton, Vrabel, New England. And oh, by the way, Mike McDonald was the hot young coach. Interviewed for 6 different teams. The Harbaughs raved about him, made the Ravens the number one defense when we thought their offense had better players than their defense. He made him number one. He was the McVay of that coaching cycle for a young coach who hadn't been a head coach yet. So the number one thing we learned is if you want to be great, look at the last 5 or 6 coaches. It's a Ben Johnson. It's a Sean McVay. It's a Mike McDonald. It's a Mike Vrabel. It's a Sean Payton. DeMeco Ryans was a hot young guy from San Francisco. Everybody in the league was like, hire him, and immediately turned around Houston. So that's the number one thing. Does Joe Brady of the Bills, who's going to get hired this morning, does he qualify as that? I do not believe so. The second thing that we learned this season, either have a very talented quarterback on a rookie deal or a very talented veteran on a very team-friendly deal. Drake May, Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, Caleb Williams, Matt Stafford. Last year, Jalen Hurts, talented guy, only 5% of the Eagle cap, made the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. The year before, last year, Jaden Daniels, really talented kid, got to the conference championship. Remember, it surprised everybody? So ask yourself, is Joe Brady, is he the Mike Vrabel of this cycle? Or the Ben Johnson? Or the Mike McDonald? Or the Sean Payton? Or a Harbaugh? No, he's not. And is Josh Allen next year going to be really, really affordable on a team-friendly deal? No, he's not. His cap hit is $56 million. That's why I have said I've done this 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row, I've given you 2 teams that'll surprise the league. I've hit it 4 years in a row. I think this is 4 or 5. This year I picked Seattle, New England. It's not shocking. It's a blueprint. Shocking is when you settle, like the Dallas Cowboys did at head coach for Brian Schottenheimer. Or the Jets did at quarterback with Justin Fields. If the Jets meet the Cowboys in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, that is shocking. That is profound. That doesn't line up. Shocking is not a New England team that hired the best coach on the market, had a super talented young quarterback basically for free for the next 4 years, and was the number one free agent spender. They never settled. They didn't settle in free agency. They didn't settle at coach, and they knew they had an inexpensive, great quarterback. Seattle upgraded at quarterback, Darnold from Geno. Super aggressive. They were the number 4 spender in free agency, and they hired the hot, everybody wants him coach who had interviewed for 6 jobs. So when I see Joe Brady getting hired by Buffalo, that'd be fine. But when you end up with a 4th or 5th, and he interviewed for a couple of jobs, but the number 1 coach in this cycle was John Harbaugh. Next year, of the 2 teams I'm going to predict will double their win total, the Giants, I've already made that choice. I'm not sure who the second team is yet because not everybody's hired their coach. The New York Giants, I'm going to make it 5 years in a row, are going to double their win total and make the playoffs next year. I did it with the Patriots and Seahawks this year, and you called me crazy. So shocking is when you settle and hire the 7th best coach or a coach that wasn't interviewing anywhere, Brian Schottenheimer. Cowboys in a Super Bowl, that's shocking. Jets, we can win with Justin Fields. That's shocking. But, I mean, and I'll give you a great example. It doesn't even matter how talented your quarterback is. If they're making big money, you're in trouble. Patrick Mahomes. No run game, weak O-line. They pay him a fortune. Josh Allen, no Pro Bowlers on defense, not enough playmakers on offense. Dak Prescott, atrocious defensive personnel. Joe Burrow, bad O-line, very thin talent on defense. I love Justin Herbert, but the Chargers are a receiver, a tight end, a running back, guard, center guard away from being a Super Bowl team. Justin Herbert makes a lot of money. So next year, John Harbaugh, hottest coach in the market, Jackson Dart, quarterback Giants, talented, not making anything. That, to me, is a playoff team, and a playoff team that could potentially win games because they're going to be able to add free agent players to their roster. So as they hire Joe Brady, he'd interviewed for a couple jobs, but he's not Stefanski, two-time coach of the year. He's not John Harbaugh. He's not even as hot as a Jesse Minter right now, as a guy people have been talking about for years. That was Mike Macdonald. Macdonald got Baltimore to the number one defense. Jim and John Harbaugh raved about him. He interviewed for 6 jobs. People said he's the defensive version of McVay, and he has been. So, you can hire Joe Brady, but in recent history, there is a blueprint, and Seattle and New England followed it. Upgrade at quarterback or get a very productive, team-friendly quarterback and hire the hot or second-best coach on the cycle, in the cycle. Joe Brady, that's not him. Could be fine. Think he could be fine. Buffalo's done with fine. Buffalo's been fine forever. Buffalo doesn't want fine. And then Josh Allen, his cap hit's too big. So they can't spend any big money on free agency. Their left tackle's expensive. Josh Allen's expensive. They're going to have to start paying these tight ends. Will be expensive. So I don't think it's a disaster hire. It's not Freddie Kitchens to Cleveland. But there is a blueprint to all of this stuff. And so from there, I want to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers hiring Mike McCarthy. Again, I don't think it's a disastrous job, but yesterday the Steelers owner said Mike McCarthy hire is about wins, not optics. Well, Mike Tomlin won. The NFL's not about just winning. How has Sam Darnold changed his reputation? Winning in January, right? It's not just about winning. Pittsburgh wins all the time. It's about winning in January. And I've always said this. You know you have an elite coach. You and I can argue about how good your coach is. But when the Steelers with Mike McCarthy in the AFC, I won't even go to the NFC, just in the AFC, I won't put him up against Shanahan, McVay, Ben Johnson. Just in the AFC, do you think if the Steelers in a big game late in the season go up against Vrabel, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, or Sean Payton, do you think you have the best coach? You do not. Kyle Shanahan beat the Eagles, remember a few weeks back, with about 70% of their roster. Did you notice who the Eagles lost to this year? It was a lot of good coaches. They lost to Sean Payton. They lost to Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, Harbaugh. They lost to other coaches, but coaching matters in this league. And when you settle or get a coach everybody is comfortable with, like Joe Brady in Buffalo, everybody is comfortable with him. Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh, everybody's comfortable with him. I'm not saying they're disastrous hires. I think Mike McCarthy will probably win games. And I think Joe Brady with Josh Allen are going to win 10, 11 games. It's Josh Allen. But, think about this. The Steelers have one playoff win in 9 years. Excuse me. The Steelers haven't won a playoff game in 9 years. Mike McCarthy has one playoff win in 9 years. That was their big swing. They upgraded a playoff win. That's not what Seattle did and New England did. They're in the Super Bowl. Again, I don't think it's a bad hire. I don't think it's a disaster. But if you look at New England and you look at Denver, it's the top coaches. It's Mike Macdonald. When the Niners hired Kyle Shanahan, he was the top coordinator. He made Matt Ryan an MVP, got Matt Schaub to a Pro Bowl, right? So this stuff so far, I think it's interesting that Mike McCarthy got the Steelers job. It makes them comfortable, Pittsburgh guy. And then Joe Brady 10 minutes ago gets the Buffalo job. It makes everybody comfortable. Okay. The good news for McCarthy, he doesn't have to pay his quarterback a fortune. If Aaron stays, he's still on a team-friendly deal. That helps. But Josh Allen isn't. Matt Hasselbeck briefly had Mike McCarthy as a position coach, he talked about the Steelers hire.
This hire to me makes it feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers want to win right away. Like they want a sure thing that makes them super relevant right away. And they've been heavy on the defensive side and maybe a little bit light on the offensive side. Maybe that balances out just a little bit. But Mike McCarthy is as Pittsburgh as a person could possibly be. So I'm happy for him. And I do think it's a good fit.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the last 4 or 5 or 6 coaches left, Sean Payton and Vrabel were the big names, number one coach available. Giants just got that in John Harbaugh. Mike McDonald was the hot coach. DeMeco Ryans was the hot coach. Ben Johnson for like 3 years was the hot coach. So that we have something that we know to be true. It's what we learned this year. Hire one of the best 2 coaches. Don't worry about comfort. Hire one of the best 2 coaches, and you have to negotiate the best team-friendly deal you can at quarterback. Because Mahomes didn't make the playoffs, and Josh Allen got bounced, and Lamar didn't make the playoffs, and Burrow didn't make the playoffs, and Herbert got bounced. That's the reality. I mean, I like Trevor Lawrence, but he's making a lot of money in Jacksonville. If he was still in that rookie deal, they'd have another elite corner, probably a first ballot Hall of Fame left tackle, and they probably win that close game, potentially with Buffalo. So that's where we are.